Do you only get sore on one side of your body? Does one butt cheek hit the chair first? Do you have to give up on an exercise because your grip strength on one side is not really keeping up? Well, congratulations, mama. You have what we would call a muscular imbalance, and I'm gonna help you fix it. Welcome back to my channel, or hello if you are new here. My name is Dr. Liv. I'm a physical therapist and longtime personal trainer who believes in saving you a copay by educating you about your own body. And today we're going over all things muscular imbalance, asymmetries, because that is one of the most common questions I get asked about on my short form content, which, by the way, if you're not following me on there, go check those pages out. My TikTok and my Instagram will be listed down below. Now, having asymmetries and one side of the body being bigger or stronger than the other is actually very normal. When I was in the clinic working with patients or even just with clients in general, the only time that I would be concerned with an asymmetry if something became symptomatic. Pain, post-op, if you were trying to return to sport, things like that. Aesthetically, I can assure you, most of the time people don't notice, but of course there are things that we can address, which I'm going to talk about in this video to kind of help balance you out. First thing I want to talk about is something that you cannot fix, unfortunately, but it should give you peace of mind because nobody talks about this. The shape of your muscles might differ side to side. Yes, even if it is the same muscle. The fullness of it, where it inserts, how high up it inserts, how low it inserts, it's gonna be different side to side. But let's address the things that you can change. One of which I also don't see people talk a lot about, and that is your range of motion. Because if you think about it, muscles lengthen and then they contract, but if one side is able to lengthen more than the other, that side is gonna get a little bit more work, right? Because the way that we exercise and use the muscles are in a lengthened and contracted relationship. So if I don't have enough internal rotation, which I don't, on my right side compared to my left side, my glutes are really not going to be able to get the full effect of a workout because I just don't have that range of motion. So I really stress working on your mobility, specifically your dynamic mobility, because that is going to help even you out a little bit and ensure that you're getting a full lengthened position and a full contracted position on both sides of the body. So now let's talk about prior to your actual workout, activation. One thing I don't agree with is when influencers talk about, waking up the glutes or like waking up one side of your body or waking up, a certain muscle group prior to your workout. I promise you, those muscles are not asleep. If they were, you'd fall over. But what I do agree with is getting blood flow, getting the muscles warm. Like I said, working on your dynamic mobility, that dynamic range of motion prior to your workout is really helpful. I would never encourage going into a workout cold. So getting down like a really good activation routine, warm-up routine prior to your workout can make a huge difference in the way that your lifts feel. It also just helps develop that mind-muscle connection, like gets the motor going. That way, when you go into your actual workout, you have a really good sense of how each side is feeling and how they feel working together. And this is the point that I want to make. You don't want to pre-fatigue your muscles. You just want to get them warm. You want a slight burn. You don't want to do a whole workout as a warm-up before you then go and load yourself up for your actual workout. Like I said, we don't want to fatigue ourselves. I don't want you to break a sweat during your warm-up. Okay, does that make sense? And the warm-up routine that I always do, everybody that knows me does it, my clients do it, my patients used to do it, cat-cow, bird dog, glute bridge, either single, staggered, or regular, thoracic rotation. Never does me wrong. If there's a day that I'm gonna do like an upper body day and my right shoulder's just a little bit more problematic, I might spend a little bit more time on like rotator cuff activation exercises, but I am not breaking a sweat. So when it comes to your actual workout, we want a really good inclusion of like compound lifts, a lot of bilateral movements, unilateral movements. If you were doing like a bilateral movement, whether it's like a shoulder press, a squat, like what we're talking about, one of the biggest tips that I could give to kind of help address when you notice like one side is just like not keeping up with the other, I feel it more on one side as compared to the other, is focus all of your attention on that weaker lagging side. For me, it's my right leg and my left arm, so a little bit of opposite. But when I'm doing like a seated shoulder press, I know that my right arm's got it, okay? Even if it's a challenging weight, even if I'm on my last rep, I don't have to worry about her. What I do focus on is pushing and using all my mental focus to push through my left side because I know that she's the one that likes to give up a little bit. Or when I'm doing a squat and I notice that my right leg is just not feeling it or not pushing as much as my left side, I will consciously put more weight through my right side. Don't ever underestimate your conscious and mental effort when you're doing bilateral or really just any exercise. And of course, we can't talk about unilateral imbalance, unilateral muscular imbalance without talking about why you need to be doing unilateral exercises. And not only that, it is important to also include maybe unilateral movements in different planes of motion, because like in our first point, we talked about range of motion and kind of making sure that you're good from all angles. You also want to make sure that you're loading from all angles, which is why proper programming is super important. And subtle plug, that is what your girl does. So if you're looking for just help on your fitness journey, one-on-one coaching, one-on-one custom programming, the link is in the description. You could also just reach out to me. I pretty much answer all my DMs. Let's talk about this for a second. So I find that when a lot of people go to do like a single leg movement, a single arm movement, a single sided movement, they always start with their stronger side. I want you to flip that.
The marble flip it around, we can win.
I want you to always start in a unilateral movement with the side that you feel like is your weaker side or the side that you just don't have the best connection with. That way you can put, like I said before, all of your mental focus into that one side, because you already know that your other side, your dominant side, is going to be good. You don't have to worry and put as much mental effort into her as much. Try to use the most amount of energy that you can on that side that we have deemed problematic. Speaking of that, something else you might not have thought about, are you giving yourself adequate rest time in between your sets? For instance, like I just told you, it takes a lot of energy, both metabolic and also just mental energy, to perform a loaded exercise. If I, start with my dominant side, and then I jump right into my non-dominant side, I'm not gonna have the same amount of energy to execute it as well on my non-dominant side. But even if I started with my non-dominant side, if I'm not giving myself rest even in between sets, I'm continuously depleting myself, and now I'm at an energetic deficit, and I'm just not giving my muscles the full amount of attention and work that they need. So I would encourage you to take your rest, 90 seconds, 2 minutes, sometimes 5, in between your sets, so that each time that you're performing that exercise, especially if it's single-sided unilateral, you have the energy and you have the focus to be able to execute it from rep 1 to rep 10. Last thing I want to touch on is also just super easy to add into your routine. I give this to clients, I've given this to patients, I do this myself, is an extra set, couple extra sets, couple extra reps on my weaker non-dominant side. I'm right arm dominant, so I use her for everything throughout the day, right? Because she is my girl, okay? We do everything together. So it's only fair that I do a couple extra sets, maybe a couple extra reps on my left side just to try to help close the gap. Not only is that going to help my non-dominant side, it's also going to help my dominant side when it comes to compound lifts and bilateral movements. So I very frequently do an extra set, couple extra sets, more reps on the side that I feel like is just not pulling its weight. Excuse the jump cut. I had to abruptly stop the video and put away my camera as fast as humanly possible because somebody walked in while I was finishing up recording, because I have what? Shame. That is correct. This is the end of the video. I hope that you guys found it helpful. Feel free to ask any more follow-up questions in the comments or comment anything else that you want me to go over. I'd be more than happy to oblige and help my girls. If you did enjoy and want to stick around, join the cult. Don't forget to like and subscribe, more importantly, so we can grow this army of educated women that I am building. Don't forget to check out my other social media platforms. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.